Hi, Pastor Nathan Decker with your Better Together devotion today, and today I'm standing in front of a really tall candle. This is our Paschal candle here at High Street United Methodist Church. This is a candle that only gets lit 3 times, 3 specific seasons or events that take place in the life of our church. We light this candle at baptism. We light this candle during the Easter season. Yes, all 7 Sundays. And we also light this candle at funerals. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is that the story that takes place at a funeral. We often joke, and I love the joke about the pastor who was preaching a eulogy. A eulogy is Greek. It means good word. You're supposed to give good words about the dead person. And so the pastor was preaching and going on and saying how much good this man had done in his life. And the widow who was sitting in the front pew, she nudged her son and said, "Honey, can you go make sure that's your daddy in the casket?" You see, we oftentimes forget about what's really happening at a funeral. When we're in the midst of a funeral, we're in the midst of pain and loss, and what we as pastors are doing in the eulogy, in the moment, is we are capturing the gospel within the person's life. We're finding the places in the deceased's life where God was at work, where Jesus was present, where there were some things happening that was God actions. And that's one of the reasons we light that candle. Because we see in this person's life, in the story of this person's life, their birth, their life, and their death, we find God at work. And we see the light of the gospel shining. So many times I've heard the story or the poem called The Dash. And kind of a short version of it is this, is that there's 2 dates on tombstones. There's 2 dates on every gravestone in the cemetery. You know, the birth and the death. But it's the dash that makes the most importance in this world. It's what we've done with our time. And as a pastor, when I go about writing eulogies, my prayer, my goal, my work is to try to say, where was God's story? Where was God's story at work within this man or this woman's life? Where did God break through to the world as good news? You see, the eulogy is a good word. It's not simply trying to preach the dead person into heaven. You know, it's more than that. It's trying to share the goodness of God that was shown in this person's life to the family, to acknowledge the loss and to shine the light of love, the reflection of God's grace in all the different ways that God shined light through that dash, through that life. This is Pastor Nathan Decker encouraging you to reflect upon your life and the life of those that you grieve, because they shined light to you from God, and we're all called to shine light to one another, because when we do, we're better together. Amen.